record because that's the way forward. So I've put on the new. This is the placement for Dope Skull, by the way. This is my very good friend's clothing company. I'm going to put his at into the caption and description because really good quality clothing. I mean, like, it's good. It's
yeah. I'm actually gonna. I've got a jumper, so I'm gonna put the jumper on, and I'm gonna take a nice picture and put it on my profile. But yeah,
so do I get
to,
free stuff? Like,
do
it? No, I'm gonna. You know what? If you respect your friend's hustle, yeah, or even if it's an acquaintance, if you don't respect their hustle and pay for it, you're a bit of a dickhead.
And there's so many people are like that though.
I hate it.
People do not support your
I've got
business.
1,000 followers.
And we're not even asking you to buy, like, just even share or like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But people, they
just
watch. I hate
mate,
people like that.
If a jumper costs £70,
you'd
go out
and buy
spend
300 for
Balenciaga.
freaking
But then
you can't spend £50 or £70 for your friend's jumper.
That stuff.
I always prefer to buy. I mean, look at me. This cup I got from Black to My Roots. I love her website, and I literally buy everything from her. I bought towels, I bought chopping boards. I'm about to buy pillowcases and covers.
Because that's
she
probably
literally does everything. Why would I go and buy? Do you know what I mean? Something from somebody when I could just buy it from support somebody's business well as it's good quality.
A lot of these big companies are run by old white people and they're doing Black Lives Matter just because it's trend.
Yeah, just support
and
your own.
I had a few issues with that. I've said that on social media a few times now.
Yeah, support your own. This is Black to My Roots, by the way. My personalised cup. It says Black is beautiful, and it says personalised with Ray, and it's the Jill Henry legacy. So, and I knew her personally. She's actually my daughter's grandmother. So.
If you get a chance, you should. You know, like the Black Pound Month. Yeah. It was done by.
Yeah. She's doing all of that stuff.
Oh, sick. Yeah, she's already part of it. Yeah, because that's
part of it, big time.
Like with me, even before, I wanted to show love to my friends. And a lot of my friends that do the clothing, like Trust No One, obviously black owned. Dope Skull, black owned. So a lot of the stuff that I'm buying at the minute was black owned naturally anyway. Erin,
you are really like you support. Support me like when I'm selling this and that. Like
Mate, to be fair, I don't even buy fucking weave. It might even get to that point where I get one.
Anything but weave, Erin will buy. Erin will even buy weave for his missus, like from me, just to say that he's bought. But anything I'm selling, Erin buys. Like he's a proper supporter. Like honestly,
you know what it is?
Really good.
And I'm not doing it because it's a fucking trend. I'm fed up with people doing trends.
Yeah.
All you fucking hipster white people talking shit. Just do it because you want to. Don't do it to look good. It's pissing me off. Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, yeah.
No. I'll get pissed off from July.
Yeah.
Randomly Black Lives Mattered, and I had aunts and cousins and all that waffling to me. I'm like, listen, this has been an issue before, and I've always said it. But now you want to speak up and say I'm wrong. Yeah. But how can you tell me I'm wrong when I actually talk to my friends who are from the fucking background that are suffering? Like, how can I talk to you, talk to like people like my mates, and they're telling me all the same thing? It can't be a fucking lie. It's not over exaggeration. It's not, oh, it happens every now and then. It's not as bad in this country. Even if it's not as bad in England, why the fuck is it still here? Anyway, sorry. I'm getting
a little bit here now and swearing so much as well.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway.
But anyway, yeah, so guys, let's move on a little bit. Do you know what's been really disturbing me at this moment with all of this, propaganda? Or it's not even propaganda, this is like real stuff that is on the TVs now and on social media, is the Sars, what's happening in Nigeria. And I'm telling you, it is actually heartbreaking on the stuff that I've seen. And yeah, I mean, you've obviously seen it. What's your take on all of this?
So before it was a thing on social media and people were getting shot in the neck for just free speech, what I find absolutely fucking mental in 2020. I'm gonna swear, I don't care because it has to be said. Now, I've got a lot of Nigerian friends and a lot of African friends in general that was talking about this before the news. So why has it took this long for the rest of the world to be appalled by it. If these have been around for, I think, like over 5 years, right? They've been, for a long time. They've been
1992 is when they.
You know, so you're telling me these people that are meant to protect their people have been robbing them, taking their money,
killing them
when they don't.
It's literally
and
diabolical what they've been doing.
What scares me is a lot of the governments that are put in every country that was sort of implemented by colonisation in a way. So that scares me that people in Britain go, it's none of our business. Like, I've seen a lot of people, a lot of the Evening Standard, right? If something comes up about SARS, there's a load of my people, English, British people, saying that's not our problem. I'm like, it really is our problem. Like, if you look at, I don't think Africa was dealing with Western government setups before we went out there. Let's be honest. We went out there to make things better.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't made anything better. If anything, we've made it easy to make it seem normal that governments can manipulate their people. If that makes sense. Because they do it over here, but they can't kill us because we've got human rights.
I mean, I just don't understand why in a day like today, we're even still having governments that can justify this type of behaviour, that are condoning this type of behaviour. Now, you're getting a lot of people talking about, okay, it's the old leaders and it's the old... Like, listen, what they need to just be removed from the system completely.
The worst thing is, it's like every politician, they lie. So everyone we vote for, no matter what country you're from, Brazilian, have you noticed that they vote in someone that says one thing and they go, they're even worse than their fucking predecessors.
Yeah, because they're all the same though.
They're all the
All the same. All it is just they're making you want to feel like you're a part of this, that you're a part of the voting.
We care.
Yeah, you know, okay, your opinions count, we value this. They don't value nothing. It doesn't matter which party you try and you vote for, they are all one. They're all sitting, eating and drinking behind closed doors. Do you understand? Laughing, making us feel like, oh, we have a voice. We don't have a voice. But what I'm saying to you is that if you're looking at it, in particular Nigeria, like, okay, I personally have this belief that Africa, you know, is the motherland, okay? I believe that everything, all the raw materials, everything that is in Africa can basically supply the rest of the world, okay?
100%.
Easily. Now,
100%.
I don't understand why it's not easy for the African leaders to just come together, okay, and understand you guys can serve the rest of the world. You guys can dictate how the rest of the world gets the materials to be able to run the rest of, do you understand? Be able to run the world. Look at technology, mobile phones, laptops. Without the raw materials in Africa, we wouldn't have this stuff. Yet what we do, they take the raw materials for next to nothing from that country, bring it to the Western world or wherever it is, China, make it and then send it back to our own people for the it doesn't make no sense.
There's a certain thing that the batteries used in a lot of Apple products come from a certain part of Africa. I forgot the name of it. I'm sure people will know exactly, but it's like you said, they're spending less than
isn't it? I think there's a there's
because there's a certain part of Africa where there's a certain thing they use that's in Apple products, especially the batteries. And I find it's been happening for centuries, like you said, where every country, not just England, not just America, but every country will pickpocket or find us an outlet to take something and make a profit from it. And once you have greed over humanity, this is how SARS ends up being a thing. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said that when it comes to what the empire did to the whole of the world, let's not act like China Brazil. Like, if it weren't for the empire, especially Americans joining with the Japanese, let's not act like the Chinese wouldn't have suffered famine. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of things that we created, especially from this side, that we're not taught until we grow in research. Because in school, they taught me about chicken jewels, bruv. Like, they taught me about flipping roots. That's the only thing I only learnt about. Let's be honest, I'm 30. I only learnt about in school was roots in slavery. That was the only thing they taught me.
Do you know that there's people in Nigeria that don't even know about like what happened to like slavery? Do you know, I have friends that are Nigerian that until they came to the Western world, they didn't even know about slavery.
What the fuck?
No, like, I'm actually being serious. Like, you see, like, this whole us being in Africa, then we were put on the slave ships and we were scattered around the Caribbean and whatever. A lot of Africans didn't even know that until they've come here. So that's what I'm trying to explain to you. Like, what we know here and what we're taught here, it's like they started it at slavery. Okay. What do you know that we were doing so much more before slavery, but they never teach us any of that. But then also as well, if you go back to some of these countries and you want to know about slavery and the history, a lot of them don't actually even know about it. Yeah.
But then again, do you think that's a good thing that in Africa they ain't looking at slavery? Because if you're taught that, ain't that the box that they're trying to create here? So you know how only growing up I saw that everything's taught to sort of put people into a box.
Yeah.
So if you're not taught that box, maybe it's good that Africa don't know about everything, because that doesn't limitate them mentally.
Yeah. But then I understand that, but weird. Then I feel like if you don't know something, it's going to be hard for you to be able to be a part of the solution, because you are then you've never seen it. So you can only then look at what you actually see. I mean, it's really hard over there anyway, isn't it? So imagine now, if you can, they have their own rules, they have their own regulation, they have their own way of doing things. Their culture is very, very strict, yeah, in terms of just a lot of things, marriage and you know, business and the way that they do things. But imagine you have this one road, this one track of doing things, and you don't know anything else because that's all you see. It's like somebody being a racist or being brought up in a racist household. Else. If you haven't seen anything else, until you step out of that box, you're not going to actually even know that you're a racist. Yeah. You're just going to think that it's normal behavior. So in anything, until you're brought out of it, yeah, you need to step out of it to then be able to observe and be like, oh, hold on, this is wrong, this is not right. Yeah, and just be able to challenge things. So I do think that we have to be able to have the knowledge and understanding of as much as we possibly can to make our own judgment of, and our own decisions about how we want things to be in terms of things being better, you know, and trying to make progress. So I think it's a bit difficult. Difficult.
You know what the worst thing is? I'm going to be deadly serious now. That a few years back, I was living in my own ignorance to think that we was all equal.
Yeah. And
I know that sounds mad because I'm from Newham, so I've got black friends, so I should have really been more engaged in seeing how they perceive things. But you don't ask questions when you think everything's normal. And then I think having a fiance, obviously a black fiance as well, and she's very smart with it. So when she saw that I was a little bit ignorant, I'm going back like 3-4 years now, she put it on me and went, you do realise, even though you've grown up with your black friends, they were treated differently, right?
But you didn't notice.
So, and this is the thing that I think a lot of us have been brought up with, is this white privilege isn't rich or poor. We can all be poor, but we get treated differently.
Definitely.
And I think you only learn that when you actually listen to other people. I think I was so, and you become ignorant not because you want to be, but because you're just used to it. You grew up, you got your mum and dad, you live in a council estate, you think everyone's the same, but you realise there's a different struggle and a different stigma. So me growing up, my stigma isn't I'm going to get stopped today.
Yeah.
Where 4 or 5 of my mates got stopped 3 times that day, but I've never asked that question.
Yeah.
But once I hit 25,
you start to
ask the questions, and you get all your friends saying the same thing, and you're like, right, that's actually fucking fucked. But and then we used to go to there was one time we went to the studio, meat wagon turned up, we're getting all searched for no reason. I remember once, me and my mate Luke was chasing my mate Ibby, and the police was searching Ibby and asking us about college. Now, back when we're 15, that's not a big issue, because we don't see it. But now looking back, I'm like, hold on a minute, we're chasing Ibby, but you're searching Ibby. You've cuffed my friend, my black Gambian friend, asking him bare questions, but we're chasing him, 2 white men. Why are you not cuffing us and asking us them questions?
Yeah. But you're not going to see, but
it's weird. It's weird that you're just isolated from.
But imagine though, Erin. So that is, us growing up, black and white. I was born in Preston, and I remember. I remember being in school, being called things like chocolate biscuit and like poo and all of these things and I'm just thinking. But when I'm thinking about it now, or I've thought about it in the past, I'm just thinking it was just like normal, because I don't know, it's just I think I'm just used to it. But now, obviously, growing up and seeing exactly what's going on in the world, it's like, no, people were actually just racist. But then they were kids my age, they don't know any better. It's what they're being taught at home. What frustrates me though is, you look at Nigeria and Sars and what's going on there. They're all black people. Like, you're all one. Why do they feel like that? Do you understand my point? If let's talk about slavery. Slavery, you had the whites, we were being oppressed by the whites, the blacks. Now in Nigeria, you're all black people. Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's something that I feel like we went out there and installed that mindset to make sure that there's that mindset. So imagine if you're not all together.
Years have passed
but that's like, over Black Lives Matter, racism's better now, shouldn't be looking at the past. That's like how my nan talks. That's like how my aunt talks, probably. But past is still part of your future, because you're told the wrongdoings. So if you see the wrongdoings and you see the same repetitive thing, like Ice Cube from NWA days was saying fuck the police for a reason. He wasn't just saying fuck police because they don't save people.
Yeah.
Like, when you actually deep it, even now, they're trying to cancel him because he's trying to talk to Trump and his administration about what yous are doing wrong as ignorant white people. A lot of us are ignorant to the fact that people ain't treated equally. We think everyone's treated equally in this country. We think everyone signs on the same.
You're delusional now, because there's so much information out there now. Everything is in your face now.
But old people don't care.
All right, forget the old people.
Right. So our age.
Let's talk about our age.
Know better.
Yeah, our age know better.
So anyone that does it are literally just being ignorant.
It's
that simple.
Ignorant. And the thing is, even back in Nigeria now, in Africa, across Africa, like now information is more accessible. So there are things on your mobile phones, there's things in the newspapers, there's things on the radio, there's things just via word of mouth that we should be now looking at and trying to make a positive change for us as a people.
Yeah, but imagine trying to change something when there's certain parts of Africa that still don't have internet. You know how, like, there's certain parts in Congo where people are going around raping people, and it's like in certain tribes where they probably don't have this access. So they don't know what's going on. We don't know.
But
imagine
the masses
it's only
know,
just come out now.
But the masses know, though.
We know in
enough
these
people
countries,
know.
But can we make a change from here? I think that's why everyone's, like you said, everyone's marching. But what?
It's not enough.
Who comes in next? Let's be honest. The next person to come into the Nigerian government or whoever the people pick, what happens if he just gasses just to get in? Because that's what politicians do.
Yeah, I mean,
and they're not going to do it. They're not going to do a normal working person to be in charge of a country. Yeah. They're not going to do it because
the people, and I think that's still, no matter what, when you get to talk about the government, the people in power, no matter what, there's still somebody always there that is making them still make the wrong decisions. And I don't know who it is or why it's being done, but the
rest of the world,
the change. Because if you look at all of the people that have been protesting, look how many people have been killed. Look how many people, I've seen disgusting videos of the things that it's just so unacceptable. And you think about all of those people have come together as a people, as a nation, and they've ended SARS. So now SARS has apparently ended. Okay, we know that shit is still going on. But what I'm saying to you is, as a collective, if more of us actually do that, it's gonna force change. It's gonna force change. There's no good you doing it over there and you doing it over there and you doing it over. We have to literally come together and do one thing and do it consistently. And it's not just about black people, it's about everybody that understands that what is happening is wrong, and all of us collectively putting in the same effort to make that change. That's what I think. But it's hard.
You wanna know what it is? The Nigerian government have been given a certain way of doing things for the last 90 years. Are they going to change their comfortability for their people? Or like you said, are they going to choose money and power? Because men, we're evil in a way of, let's be honest, if a woman was in charge of Nigeria, do you really think this madness would have ever happened in the first place? Or do you think, if a woman was in charge, do you ever think this would be the same?
But then you think about Nigeria, not to say, when it comes to men and women,
right?
Would a woman ever be in power in Nigeria?
But then again, probably before a Christian Bible, there probably was. There was probably a princess or a queen. Remember, whatever went in there has created a ripple effect till now. So the only way, I feel, for Africa to reset is to fuck anything that was Western went into there. Like there's a certain guy on the internet, I forgot his name, and he said it perfectly. If you want to make change, I think you need to destroy everything that the empire created and be Africa again. Because even though a lot of African countries within the continent have their independence, does Africa as an whole have its independence?
Yeah, but they were already on their way to doing that, and it's still infiltration from the Western world that comes in and disturbs it. And I don't understand why each time they are succumbing to what these people put in front of them, because they don't need them.
It's pressure, because you have to think, people like America, people like England, when we're all, remember, they go in this big massive room and they all chat with every country, right?
Like the World Summit, is it?
Yeah, the World Summit, right? So when they're all there, obviously, if the most powerful person in that room says, this is how you need to do it, and we will give you this amount to do it, what is the government of Nigeria going to do? You see how you need to, and then the worst thing about how this world is now, and the politics and the way it's set up, if Nigeria turned round and said, we don't want nothing to do with you anymore, we want to do our own thing, you become a terrorist and a dictator. Then you get shot.
And it's easy to just become shut down as well.
Listen, there's so many people that weren't dictators that have been shot in the head, and they was doing better for their country. Now look at the countries. Because it was for the people. Don't get me wrong. People like Saddam Hussein was evil. You get rid of them, yeah? And that should be their own people and the rest of the world helping. When Gaddafi, for instance. What the fuck did he do wrong apart from say, I want my people in my country to be powerful, we don't need you. And then all the Americans
that they portrayed him though to be...
They portrayed him to be an animal.
Yeah.
And they do it because they're scared of losing power.
Yeah.
They're trying to do it to China.
Yeah.
China are trying to become their own person. Trying to have their people in power, right? But what's happening with China now, I'm scared that they're going to go down the empire route where they go into every country, taking the juice, and they're just like, I find a lot of, I'm going to be real, if I get cancelled, I get cancelled. A lot of Chinese people are buying into Jamaica or the Caribbean islands, America,
a lot of them
England.
have taken over them already, practically.
Right, so when they're doing that, they're doing what we've done because they want power.
Yeah.
So if their government want power and the Americans are seeing they're losing it, they're going to start saying 5G's this, Hawaii's this and that. Because it's all about them in power moves. We're all the under people that just pay the taxes and die.
Exactly.
Africa's the next place. Africa's the next place where it's either Nigeria and the rest of Africa come together as a nation and just stick to their own, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
don't get this idea doing what fucking our empire done in ruined countries, because China are doing what the English done, and it's not good because all you're doing is making people see you a certain way, right? So what happens when China becomes the most powerfulest nation in the world? It's now took a narrative of the Americans and the English are going to be attacking the Chinese because they're too powerful. They're going to start making up stories. They're going to start doing this, doing that, and then at one point, Africa will become their own, and they'll start growing again, like they did before we ever touched the fucking country. They'll start becoming great, and then we'll try and talk shit. So at the minute, they've got their hand inside, and they're just in charge of government. They're in charge. They're just giving them money. So whenever you think the government and this person is evil, no, there's someone behind them fucking puppeteering it. It's like Boris. He's a puppet. We're all being used like little, and we're under a like we're all fighting each other.
Yeah,
I'm fed up,
and it's easy for them. They're just like, let them carry on because
it's easy for
them
government
to do what they're doing.
So when people were marching for Nigeria and SARS and end of SARS, government don't give a shit if you get flipping COVID. You know why? Because it's nothing to do with them.
Exactly.
That's why they let you.
And then they can still turn around and say, "Oh yeah, COVID, you people, you've been out together.
It's
now we need the vaccine.
Now we need the vaccine."
I've been on the street, like literally, where white people, I'm not gonna lie, like it's like when they see me, they feel like they want to cross the road, like proper, like maybe they feel like we've got corona, and it's like
because the narrative's been set.
Yeah, I was in IKEA with my daughter, and we were talking. We didn't have our mask on, and this lady was just like, "Do you have your mask?" She had real bad attitude, and I was like, "No," and then she was like, "Well, why are you not wearing your mask?" And I said, "Well, who are you? Number one. Number two."
First thing,
and I said to her, she was over there. I said, "Well, anyway, I'm exempt," and she was like, "Well, where's your certificate?" No, who are you actually? Like, but do you understand? Yeah. It's like you can. My daughter was just like, "Look, Mum, just a lie." But the point of the matter is why they feel like we are the ones that's spreading corona because that is the way that they've set
from February to March,
and that's why they're saying
BAME communities. Come on, man, this word BAME is pissing me off.
And they've said they want the vaccines to be trialled on us first. Do you understand
what
I'm saying?
What's going to do now is our kids first.
Yeah,
They're now saying, instead of black people being the test subjects like they was trying to do in Africa, they think people don't actually research.
And that failed.
And it's fact checked. And do you know all this SARS stuff? Have you noticed a lot of people are posting stuff and it's saying fact check?
Fact check, yeah.
Are you taking the piss? It's fucking true.
Yeah.
So whoever's sitting behind,
I think we get a bit heated on this.
No, mate, Mark Zuckerberg picks and chooses.
Yeah.
Who? You have to think. I don't blame him because he's just the owner, right? He's got a team that are meant to have a brain. Now, if you're sitting in front of a computer and you see a young boy with a fucking gunshot to his neck. A young creator, by the way, a graphic designer. He got shot in the neck and he died. And a lot of African artists and a lot of artists over here, like Whiskin Wet, said, "Rest in peace, King," and everything. For me, how is that fake? How can you then put something to not let people know that, and you're trying to say it's a fact check? No, mate. The bullet hole is in that poor boy's neck, and he even had a tweet saying, "Oh, I'll get through this, bro." Are you taking the piss?
Yeah.
He went out protesting for him and his people to have freedom away from, let's be honest, soldiers that are bullet happy. It's a bit like going to America, going to fucking Texas and saying, police won't bother me because I'm black. Bro, they're definitely going to do it. I saw a video just the other day. There's a Chinese guy saying blacks ain't allowed here.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like, mate.
This is a nigger-free zone or something, they said.
And you know what? Yeah, I can't say that. You know what it is? What pissed me off the most about that? You originally come from Asia, right? Let's not act like the Americans didn't team up with the Japanese to ruin that fucking country as a whole. As they teamed up with Japan to cause absolute havoc to the Chinese, to everyone around them, right? But you seem to think you're American. They do not care about you.
They don't care about you, exactly.
If they look at you, they see an Asian man. More likely, they're going to say you brought COVID. So you have to cheat to attack a black man that's probably more relatable to you than any white Trump supporter or whatever you're...
They're not saying that back.
Because everyone's brainwashed in America. I've seen black and Asian people fighting, saying, foreigners away. I'm like, bro, you won't be here. Like, let's be real. Would I have been born, seeing as I'm like, flipping Turkish Cypriot, right? So would I have been born if no foreigners was allowed here? I wouldn't be here, would I? You know what I'm saying? So when people see me, they just see a white kid from Newark. But what they don't realise is there's more to me than that. But everyone has this stigma: if you're white, you're white; if you're black, you're black. They don't realise people and where they're from originally are different. I never wanted to leave the EU because of foreigners. I wanted to leave the EU because we deserved more from us being a country. Like, I love saying I'm British, but for the last 4 years, I've been very embarrassed to be British, if I'm honest, because what I grew up in Newham thinking to the rest of England saying BLM don't matter. I'm like, listen, how comes British history ain't important? I'm like, we get taught it in general.
But we don't. What we get taught.
Who else gets taught?
Anyway.
But let's be real. Do people from black backgrounds get taught? Asian backgrounds, Indian, Pakistani backgrounds. Does anyone get taught their actual heritage and their background in history? No.
That's got to be done by you yourselves. Like this has got to be done like.
But that's sad because
it's sad. But the thing is,
in society.
Yeah, but Aaron, why does they don't care? Why
that's
it's
mad.
not? It's not for the British to feel like they have to teach us.
But they shouldn't have
about
to. It should be. But
it should be.
But the
us
thing is,
people.
If there's 3 generations, of people from another country. In this country, you are British. Like, people were saying to Anthony Joshua, I remember it was his birthday, and they're ripping him up. Yeah, sorry. And they're ripping him up. And it's like, wait a minute. You're ripping him up. He wears the British flag with pride, but you're telling him you don't care. And it's mostly old white people. It's mostly my people. So imagine how I feel when I'm open.
I know it, and I know you're pissed off, and I know because we talk about this all the time, like off camera, and I know you get really, really frustrated. And you know what? Power to you, because you are one that I see actively trying to make a difference, and I think there should be more people like you. But do you know what I'm saying? I think as well, Erin, that it comes from us. Like people are not going to respect us if we don't respect ourselves and respect each other at the end of the day. So yes, I do feel like it's a collective movement for everybody to get involved that can actually see that what is happening is wrong, but I still think that it begins with us. And I think until we actually come together as a people, you understand, we're not going to gain respect from others if we don't respect each other. And that's where I think most of the effort has to go right now. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not taking away from anything or any other effort that other people do, because I think it's amazing, and I think it's not a colour. It's not about colour. Yeah, exactly.
On your side than against.
But I still feel like we as a people, we need to understand here what is important. And I think social media, and I think there's too many distractions, and it's taken away from what we're actually trying to achieve. But then now, I'm not gonna lie, I am seeing a lot of stuff now that where people are not afraid to speak now. People are becoming more having a voice, and coming together. Not scared to get cancelled from mainstream, and and then making that conscious effort to say, do you know what? Now it doesn't matter what position I am in a job. It doesn't matter, what other people think of me. I'm actually going to speak my mind because I know that this is right. I'm seeing a lot more of that. And I think the more that we kind of, do that, the better it's going to become. So, until then, my heart goes out to Nigeria and to, anybody who is in a country where right now you are suffering. For me, my heart goes out to you, and I do pray that, things do become better, and it's something again that we could talk about forever, and I guess we'll touch on it again, but for now, all we can do is pray and just continue to do what we're doing. That's making a positive change on the situation.
So if you can, I'm going to try and find the correct petitions and everything.
Yeah, sure. And we want your views, guys. We want to know what you think as well, because it's good to have a different perspective, from people, and just say what you feel at the end of the day. I think we're too stuck in, I can't say this, I can't say that, and we're trying to be here to let you know, look, say it. It doesn't matter, say it.
Because
have your
if
peace,
you don't
it makes
know,
a difference.
Someone hearing you say something that might sound a bit ignorant, would you rather sound ignorant and be taught better, or would you rather just stay in your own bubble thinking it's right?
Yeah, true. There you go. That's
also, no more. I don't want to be called I want to be black, because that's bollocks. I don't want to be, just because you have black friends don't mean you just want to be black, black. No, none of that bollocks. I just want everyone to be cool with it. Yeah. Simple. No, because I get on Facebook, man, Instagram. That's why. I'm white as fuck, I'm Cockney, bro.
Aaron, I know Aaron personally, and Aaron is a cool dude, and I feel like Aaron is just Aaron. His opinions, it doesn't matter what it is, he says what he feels, and that's it. Everyone's allowed to have their opinion at the end of the day. Do you understand? If you don't like it, fine, move on. But you don't then stop. You don't judge, and just don't feel like what you're saying is wrong.
Yourself.
Yeah? No, he's not saying that.
I am. No, seriously. Anyone that's ignorant.